Calina Lawrence seats da sok obshed di shahaf chest Thuk obil chest Thu walach chest. My name is Calina Lawrence. I'm a member of the Suquamish tribe located on the Port Madison Indian Reservation in Seattle, Washington. I am not a fluent speaker of my language due to colonization in the United States of America. What I said is that we are here together. I said we will be okay. I said we will be strong. In Lushootseed, which is the dialect of the Pacific Northwest. I'm 23 years old. I'm a student at the University of San Francisco, which Shay mentioned is how we met with surrogates of Bernie Sanders, and to acknowledge the important voice that he has given to Native American communities more than any other presidential candidate ever in this country, which is mind-boggling, but it's so powerful. And when I occupy these spaces and I listen to the words and I appreciate the acknowledgement of white privilege, I appreciate the acknowledgement of racial justice. It is real and it needs to be addressed, and we are doing that. But what I need you also to know is that this country is made up of less than 2%. Less than 2% of us are Native American left. There's over 300 million people in this country, and roughly 5 million are indigenous. I'm not supposed to be here right now. There's literal laws to kill Native people on this land. And we're always the last thought. I listen and I appreciate the ways that you all create these initiatives, but I also would love for you to reach out to local Native American communities, the ones who happen to be federally recognized, the ones who are still abiding by our treaty rights. Our treaty rights are what you guys are talking about. We demanded protection of our earth in order for colonization to settle here, and our treaty rights are broken and broken and broken for decades and centuries. And you guys have to understand that we didn't make those decisions just for Native people. We made those decisions for humanity, right? But we're not thought of. We feel 125% every negative result of every decision about fracking, about pollution, about capitalism. We feel all of that on our reservations, but we're so secluded, we're so far away from modern civilization that people don't even know we exist. We might be the first Native people that some folks in this room have ever come into contact with. That's true. And it's not okay. It's not okay to be the afterthought. It's okay to say, hey, I bet you that there are indigenous people who have been fighting for these same rights for decades and centuries, and we haven't even asked what have they been doing. We haven't even asked how can we go help them and them come help us, right? Because we're taught not to build those bridges, or we just don't know. And to have a platform to remember us, to include us, and acknowledge the genocide of the people who have been stewards of this land for so long, and this country would not even exist without. There are people who are afraid of what? What are you afraid of in contacting indigenous people? Because even through all of the violence that we have suffered, we still want compassion. We still want humanity to survive. We want humanity to thrive. We want equality. We want everyone to have the resources they need. That's what we want. But there's this fear of retaliation on our end. There's a fear of resistance that has always been there. And what we are resisting against is our own deconstruction. Our own destruction is what we resist against. So I humbly ask you to remember us in every platform that you have, every space that you have, and learn with an open heart, with an open mind. Give up a little bit of that power that you might have for someone who has historically been dismissed, right? And we want these things, you know, we want these same things. We want love, and we want to share our teachings that have somehow been preserved through assimilation and genocide. I'm speaking English right now, you guys. This is not my indigenous language. I'm colonized. I can't undo that. I can learn, but we need recognition collectively from this country about the treatment of our people. We need that. And that starts with word of mouth. That starts with standing up. That starts with correcting somebody, or even just informing them, right? So, as a young indigenous person who has to leave the reservation to go to school, to get a degree, to be considered a valid citizen, you know, I have to have time away from my culture to participate in a system that has never, ever, ever fully been for the preservation of my people. But I'm here because that's what I want. I could also not participate. I could stay at home. But I'm tired of the conditions that our people live in. I'm tired of drinking the dirty water because these things are strategically placed next to a lot of indigenous reservations. I'm tired of it. I'm not okay with it. I don't want this country the way that it is. I'm not going to accept it. But I can't even speak this unless someone gives me a platform.